Hello everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the creative director here at Bubblegum Cartoons, and today I'm going to be talking about the 5 ways that you can improve your animation, how to make it pop, stand out, and make it uniquely yours. Even if you're not an animator, I believe these little nuggets of advice will help your paintings, comic books, illustrations, any form of medium of art that you like to do stand out. And also do not forget to subscribe for the premiere of our original animated web series, Demonic Crepes. We are so excited to share the story of Sophie and Pancake with you, so please don't forget to subscribe so you will not miss the premiere. And without further ado, let's get to the 5 ways you can improve your animation and make it stand out. The very first way to make your animation stand out is to have a very unique style of movement. And by this, I mean your character should move in a way that's very uniquely your own. It should be kind of like your calling card. Really unique ways of movement can be seen in films like The Fantastic Mr. Fox that are really like still but then have really sudden odd movements. Over the Garden Wall has a section where Greg goes to Cloud City and it pays homage to a lot of old-fashioned animation, kind of like Rubber Hosey, and then there's like Betty Boop where everyone's kind of bouncing up and down to like a beat, like that old like 1920s, 1930s sort of animation. I find that really old 1920s, 1930s animation is really like starting to come back. A lot of Rubber Hose. You can even see Rubber Hose animation like that. That's my impression of Rubber Hose. You can see it in Adventure Time as one that really started bringing it back. So have some kind of movement, some kind of bounce to your work that is really uniquely yours. My work was actually really recently on Bob's Burgers, and I had old classmates of mine reaching out to me and they're like, I think I saw your work on Fox. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. Before the credits even rolled, they knew it was mine because you know, my characters are always swirling around, they're always bouncing, so it was super unique to my style and people recognized that right away. Something I do in Demonic Crepes to make them stand out is I pay a lot of attention to secondary action in clothing as well as having super bouncy hair. It's a lot of extra effort, but it really pays off in the end and makes Sophie really stand out. The second thing you can do to make your animation stand out is color. Think of mood and expression when picking your color palette. It should really catch your eye and make you happy. Consider jewel tones, black and white, or even pastels. A good example of jewel tones is in Steven Universe. You can really capture the mood of the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack just by looking at the backgrounds, the kind of muddy and slightly ugly for the sake of being ugly backgrounds. And there's something really fun and upbeat and smiley about the candy-colored backgrounds in Adventure Time. So if you guys didn't know, backgrounds are not my favorite thing to make. I much prefer doing storyboarding, or I like doing animation a lot better. So something I did to make myself happy was when I was doing Demonic Crepes and I was doing the background of Harajuku. And I was so bored doing the same gray buildings over and over and over again. I'm like, you know what? This is my universe and I have complete dominion over this entire universe. Everything that Sophie and Pancake see, everything that they live in is created by me, so why not make it fun and happy? So I made all the buildings pink and I made them blue, I made them candy colors, I made them pastel colors, I made the clouds all swirly, and I made this whole world my own. And with that I had a lot more fun and I really feel like the show stands out a little more because of how kind of oddly fantasy Harajuku is. The third way to make your animation stand out is to have a unique style to the show. Consider how you want to showcase your character, your environment, how you want the audience to feel. Gotta grab a book over here. I'm back. So I have the price tag. Are The Incredibles here, one of my very favorite art books. And I just, if you look through this, it's just incredible. Just style and shape and I'm speechless. It's like, here's an advice video about all I know about animation. I'm like, shapes. So something I really love about The Incredibles is the style of, just gonna, like I'm reading to the class, hello class, the mid-century modern aesthetic they have to the house, to the cars. It has this like kind of like 1960s feel, I think, which is really cool, really makes it stand out. I love just the shapes and the form of the characters is super, super unique. Over the Garden Wall is super, super gorgeous. It's actually based off my hometown, so when I saw it right away, I'm like, oh my god, like I've been here. I know exactly where this is. And I met Pat McHale, and I'm like, is it this town? And he's like, yeah. But that's just how super successful the style of the show was, as I could just pick it out right away. Like exactly the exact location of where it takes place. The Summoning has a very fun, kind of gritty and goth aesthetic to it, which I really enjoyed. I'm sorry, do people not like the word aesthetic anymore? I'm kind of at a loss for words. I think people liked it for a while and now everyone thinks it's kind of pretentious. I'm sorry, I'll find a better word. How I use this in Demonic Crepes is I put extra effort into designing the clothing. So mostly you'll notice that clothing and animation are very simple since they have to be drawn over and over and over again. And I said, hey, I'm gonna go against logic here, and I'm gonna put tons and tons of details into my clothing, which I have to draw over and over and over again. So it really makes it stand out, because a lot of people aren't really willing to put so much effort into clothing, but I draw every single ruffle, every little bow, every little tuck in, every little apron, and I really think it makes the show stand out a lot more. The fourth way you can really make your animation stand out is mannerisms. This is how your character moves personally, how they kind of go about their day. Like, do they tuck their hair behind their ear? Are they left or right-handed? How do they walk? Do they slump? How do they even pull out a chair? It's all about how your character moves, and really putting a lot of thought into that will really draw people in and make this character more believable. It's really important to observe everyday life, or even yourself, to get really realistic or over-the-top actions in your animation. One of my favorite examples of mannerisms is in the Gravity Falls episode Carpe Diem. This is where Dipper and Mabel switch bodies. This is not just a typical body switch cartoon episode though. While they change voices and bodies, they also keep the same mannerisms. Dipper does the thing where he always shuffles his hands, Mabel's always touching her face, even when they switch bodies, and I think that was a really important touch that that the storyboard artist really communicated in that episode. Another great example of this is Studio Ghibli. I know the one that I kind of went wild for when I was a kid was when Chihiro is putting her shoes back on after taking them off, and she does this like little toe tap, and that's just something so unique that kids do, and that's something that usually animators wouldn't think to do. Usually just slip on the shoes and go, but she kind of did that extra little kid step of not tying her shoes on all the way. She'd rather just like tap the foot on the floor. So how I use this in Demonic Crepes is I actually voice and animate Sophie, so it's really easy for me to just like get in there, and like Sophie is just me sometimes. I mean, as you can tell, I talk with my hands a lot. We're working on it. So I put a lot of my mannerisms in Sophie. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm expressive head to toe. So sometimes when she does certain expressions in her voice, I'll also make like little toe wiggles, or her head will cock to the side. And whenever I have characters going to sleep for some reason, I always have a little hair like go in their face, and then like they'll tuck it back, or like someone will tuck it back for them. And that's just something I like to put in my characters to make them come alive and make them unique and believable. The fifth and final way to make your animation stand out is your calling card. This is what encompasses your show. That's what makes it go, wow, like that is certainly whoever's animation. This can be how the characters talk. This can be like even the skin tone, like The Simpsons. No question, the yellow skin tone is The Simpsons, and that's kind of their calling card. It could also be things like detailed costume design, or background design, or just humor in general. The things I use in Demonic Crepes to be my little calling card is all the curls, the sparkles, the pastel palette, the kind of a creepy, cute thing with the demons, but also like strawberries and like sweet pastries and stuff like that, and bring those two together. I love doing bounciness and animation. Like I said, I like putting a ton of effort into doing costume design because that really makes me happy, and I find that this really helps the show stand out. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching the 5 ways to make your animation stand out. Let me know if you guys have any more advice on how to make your animation stand out, and I really hope this helped. Don't forget to subscribe for the premiere of Demonic Crepes. We might have a little sneak peek coming up soon, so that's really exciting. So please subscribe, and until next time, stay inspired.